Hey guys, welcome back to Boyson's Place. Let's talk stories. So, I've been talking to a bunch of friends about solar power, and I've been doing this in retirement the last couple of years. It was weird. It was a kind of a fluke how it started. About 6 years ago, got solar panels, and we only got 8 solar panels, and it was fine for a while, where we weren't paying, pretty much weren't paying any electricity bill to the local power company here in San Diego. And then I got a bill, and I was like, "What the heck happened?" And I didn't really understand how to read the SDG&E bill until when I joined Sunrun, and that's going to come in a minute here. So I called Sunrun and I said, "Hey, this solar power thing isn't working." So they told me, "Well, remember when the guy came out the last time you didn't want the backup battery?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't want the battery." And they said, there's no sun that operates at night." And I felt kind of dumb because, again, the solar panels work off of the sun. And so there's no backup battery to load the extra power that the sun is producing, right? The energy, right? And to convert it from direct current to alternating current. And so I said, fine, bring the battery. So they wanted my electric bill. So I sent them again and they said, looks like you need 8 more panels. I was like, I don't want more panels. I got enough. And they're like, no, your usage has gone up. And so I got 8 more panels and I got 2 backup batteries. And so what's happened since then was just amazing. As the guys were installing my system, I was talking to them, and the guy was telling me about Sunrun and how great the company was and this and that. And so I decided to join them. They snapped me up within a couple of days. I think I got a call and got the interviews and joined them. But it's been fun. And so what happened with the backup batteries was I noticed that I was producing extra solar power, and the local company here, power company, has been buying electricity from me. In the beginning, I saw like $20 that they purchased, and after the first month or so that it was installed, and then each month after that, it went up to like $30, and then $40, and then 60, and then 80, and I've seen it as high recently. What we're now in May. This is May 6th of 2025, 149 or so dollars that they bought from me, so my solar bill with Sunrun is 160 a month. So that pretty much subsidizes my bill. I mean, that's good enough for me. And yeah, so I wanted to share my most recent electric bill on the screen here with you and kind of, go over like how to read it and how to understand it, right? And so on page one, you'll see that there's a chart on the right side of the page, right? And on that bar chart, you'll see January to December, and then how the chart, it goes. There's like three different color codes, and they're for on peak, off peak, and super off peak, right? The most expensive and the least expensive times of the day. And so I saw that in the recent bill that I had for my April bill, right, was that I got a credit of $86.02. That was the first section, first part of it. And so, and then I got the California climate credit, which the power company gives us once a year. And usually it's funny because they give that to you about a month or two before they jack up the rates again, another 12 to 17%. Pretty clever, because people, even for me as a Sunrun rep now, people say, "Oh, I don't, we just got a credit, so we're good." And so that's just for 1 month. Like, how's that going to sustain you for the rest of the year, for the rest of your life, right? And then I asked them if they know how to read the bill, and people were like, "Oh, I don't know, it's just confusing." Yes, it's made to confuse you. If you look on page 3 or 4, depending on how your bill is set up, right, there's a page where it's your electric generation and delivery. So SDG&E is the source that delivers the bill, delivers the electricity to your home, and then CCA is the one that does the generating, right? And then you'll usually see again in 3 columns: on peak, off peak, and super off peak. And you'll see, I've seen rates vary from depending if they're on any special program, like if you're on the care program, which is based on income, you'll have a lower rate. There's also like the medical baseline as well too. So I've seen rates as low as like maybe 25 to 28 cents per kilowatt hour on super off peak, and then it goes up to like 48 cents or so. But that's for people who maybe, it's based on income. But the everyday people out there, people who work every day and they have big families and Maybe they have an electric car or two that they're charging in their house. I've seen rates starting at 48 cents per kilowatt hour and going up as high as 72 cents per kilowatt hour. If you look at my bill on my screen, you'll see that it's zeroed out. And what happens here is that when you're not actually getting electricity from the power company and your solar system is producing for you, you don't get charged anything. You don't see a rate there. But if you get charged something, it'll be whatever your rate is. And so if I did get charged something, yeah, I'll have a rate on there. But right now it's zero and I love it. So learn to read your electric bill, learn to understand that, learn to understand how the power companies are smart at, giving you credits and then then they'll raise the rates again. It's this, kind of this cat and mouse game of, going up every year. California electrification is coming up on 2035. It was started in 20, or announced in 2021 by Governor Newsom here in California, at least, right? Where he doesn't want any new cars to be sold in 2035 to be gas engines. So you'd have to buy an electric car, or I guess maybe a hybrid. I'm not exactly sure on that part, but for sure an electric car. And when you look at the millions of people living in California alone, which is the fourth highest GDP, you get people starting to plug in at home, electric rates are going to go high. The demand is going to go high, and that's how your power company charges you on demand, right? Right now, they're all upgrading their power lines and everything out there. I know for sure here in East County and San Diego, in Humboldt, and Alpine, I see them out there, upgrading the power poles and the power lines, and customers out there are calling us, begging us to get, solar systems set up in their homes. We can't just go in and set it up overnight, folks. It takes time because you have to get permits from the city or the county of San Diego. You also have to have SDG&E's permission or approval because you're tapping into their power grid. So there's documents that you have to sign. There's a whole process. It could take as much as 6 months. I had one customer take a year because there was a homeowners association involved as well too, and they dragged their feet on that, right? But in general, about 5 to 6 months, the quickest I've seen when customers act really quickly and sign all the documents and we get everything all set up and approved through SCG&E and the county is a month. I've seen it less than a month as well too. It just blows my mind, but that's rare. So expect for it to take time because some of the documents you'll sign there are three documents: the California Public Utilities Commission document that protects you as a consumer. You'll sign on the agreement that Sunrun or whoever your private provider is will spell out what your monthly payments are if you're going to go going through with the power purchase agreement, which is the subscription. It's not a lease in California. In some states it is, but in California it's a monthly subscription, like you're subscribing to SDG&E, although you don't think of it that way, right? You're paying a monthly, it's like your lifetime sentence without you having a say in what you're paying them. They're telling you what they're going to charge you, and they're just going to jack up the rates every now and then too, right? So people just don't want to deal with it. They just pay it. So you sign on the agreement, and then the third thing you sign off on is the NEM, net metering document through the power company. And then you do an 800 call or toll-free call to verify that everything that was discussed is what you agreed upon in the agreement. And then we schedule a site inspection as well too for you to make sure that your roof will hold up all the panels. Each panel weighs about 50 pounds. So you want to make sure there's no holes and that, the rafters will hold everything up. And then also your backup batteries. So you'll probably get a minimum of one. I recommend two, especially if you're going to be growing or you have a growing family and you have plans to upgrade, like maybe your uh, air conditioning unit, or even getting electric cars and things like that, So, I always say get more than what you need, a little bit more. SDG&E will allow you to do 50% more than what your uh, average is for your monthly bill for the last 12 months, because they will be buying the extra power from you, right? Um, so yeah, if you have any questions about how to read the bill, let me know. If you want to send me a copy and I can run an analysis for you, that's no charge at all, and we can go over that together. Um, and yeah, most people go with the power purchase agreement because again, it's a low monthly payment, and very for me, it works out really well for me and my family. Very, very happy with that, and I'd be happy to help you as well. All right, give me a call 619-245-3402. You can also set up your appointment with me by going to gosunrun.com/Stephen Yagyagan. All right, it should be on the screen as well too. All right, look forward to talking to you soon, and keep the sun shining, folks.